Hey guys, I'm Chris and this is Busted Knuckle DIY. We're continuing our closet remodel here, and so today we're going to be doing some final tear out and then starting the sheetrock work. Let's get wrenching.
Oh hell, I can fix that. Honey, can you bring me a Band-Aid, please?
Alright guys, as you can see, we've got quite a bit of work to do in here today. We're going to get the shelf and the old hanging bars out. We have to, sorry for the weird lighting thing going on here. Have to patch the hole in the wall that we cut out to run our new wiring. Patch the hole in the wall where the old outlet was. Get rid of this quarter round that's in the floor because the floor's coming up anyway. These strips on the wall here, that's coming out. There's a strip across the ceiling, that's going to come down. So yeah, we have just got tons and tons of stuff to do. So anyway, I'm going to get to tearing everything out and I'll get back with you guys when I get a little further along. Alright guys, you can see we've got the tear out. Well, I got to take out that last hanging bar piece and scrape that data sticker off the wall. Pull about 10,000 nails. Most of this tear down was pretty easy. As with everything else in this house, they just took big screws like this and screwed it right into the sheetrock. So to do our tear down, I used my 1/4 inch impactor. And then to get the old quarter round and things like that up, I use this nifty little tool right here. This thing is so cool, guys. You slip it in behind and then it will lever like that. And it's a great tool for removing quarter round and doing stuff like that. Anyway, I'm going to get a few nails out, get that last piece down, and we'll go ahead and start this mess. All right, guys, so we're going to put this big piece of sheetrock back in, the one we took out. And so obviously we have to cut a hole out for our new switch. So we're just going to get our tape measure and measure it up and from this side and get an idea. Go ahead and cut this out. And then I'll show you a really neat trick to install a piece like this when you don't have a stud on either side. Alright, sorry for kind of the weird grain going on here. The camera doesn't like my new lights in here. Anyway, I'm going to show you guys a really neat trick to reinstall a piece of sheetrock like this. So what we're going to do is I've got this craft board, it's like 1/4 inch pine, it's cheap. Is do this number with it, guys. We're going to screw it into our good sheetrock at a couple of points, and that's going to give us something that the edge of it can set nice and flat on. So let me grab the screw gun and a couple of screws here, and we'll see if we can make this happen. So, something like that. And it doesn't have to be full length. Alright, that's it. This is a trick I learned a long time ago from a wise sheetrock guy. So I'm giving you gold here. And just let that recess a little bit because we're going to be mudding all this stuff up anyway. There we go. That's in there nice and solid. That's going to give us a good anchor point for the side. I'm going to put the other one up and go ahead and put this piece of sheetrock in. Alright guys, you can see this is in and it's nice and flat. And for fun, we went on ahead and put our new switch plate cover in there, which that looks great. So obviously we'll take that off when we get ready to do the painting. So now it's on to sanding. And there's a couple of implements that you can use for this. So let me show you one of them. Alright, so the first one is this flat, like drywall sanding block. It's got a great handle on it. It's hook loop. You can put this paper on here, go to town. It sits nice and flat on the wall, so you can just But the sanding in here is going to be so extreme that we're probably going to go with a random orbital sander to do this job. So anyway, I'm going to get the sanding, and then we'll fun to start that mud work. Alright guys, I've got a cursory sanding done anyway. You know it's the shoddiest sheetrock work that you've ever seen in your life when you have to go at it with 60 grit sandpaper on an orbital sander to try to smooth some stuff over. So anyway, what we have here is jointing tape, and I just have my little 4-inch knife here. So for these larger seams, we're going to go ahead and put jointing tape on. Just like this. And then what we're going to do is take the edge of our knife, put it up against the tape, and it tears off beautifully clean. So all of our big gap seams, we're going to be using the joining tape on like this. So here, where we fix that, and several other spots in here. This one is a pretty tight seam, and probably don't need the joining tape, but we're going to put it in there anyway, just to say that we did. So anyway, I'm going to tape up a few more seams, and then we'll get the mud, and I'll show you what we're going to do with the first pass of that. All right, now that we got stuff taped up, I'm going to go ahead and remove this switch cover that I put on here just for fun. All right, so I've got my bucket with joining compound, and I'm going to start with the 4-inch knife, guys. And don't mess around. Go ahead and grab a bunch of it. Okay, so now that we've got a good bit of it on there, we're just gonna try to smooth everything over. Alright, we're gonna come from the outside, we're gonna put more pressure on the outside of the seam. We're gonna feather a little bit, so we're gonna kind of flex our knife and feather that in a bit. Same thing on the inside here. And that's the general idea, guys. We're going to get it nice and smooth here, cover our tape. And remember, this is a first pass. When you're doing hard seams like this, you're going to make at least 2 and sometimes 3. So, anyway, I'm going to keep mudding and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, it's the next day. This drywall compound is set up, so we're going to take our little flat sander and just the idea here is to feather this out away from the seam. So now we're not going to go crazy here with the sanding. on this. We're just, like I said, we're just feathering it because we're getting ready to go ahead and put our second coat on. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that. All right, so we've got our bucket loaded back up, and this time we're going to make a second pass, and we're going to really get out wide here. We're going to use our wide. This is a 10-inch knife. So we're going to go from the center of our drywall tape out, putting more pressure to the outside over here so we can feather this away. So anyway, I'm going to get a start on it here. And don't be shy when you put the compound on. It takes a couple passes to get it in there. Worry about smoothing it out after you've got some coverage. And I'm sure somewhere there is some wise drywall guy going, come on, man, that's not how you do that. But anyway, now you can see I've got it on there, so we're going to start feathering this. To the outside like that. And we're going to have one more pass here. Okay, we're going to do that on both sides to feather this out as wide as we possibly can and cover our tape up. So anyway, I'm going to keep going with that, and I'll get back to you. Alright, so you can see we've got this hard seam in here and this textured roof, so we got to cover up these staple holes. So I'm just going to use my little 1-inch putty knife, and this is going to make a huge mess. Well, there's really no other way to go about this. The good thing about it is it's textured, so we don't have to worry about getting it particularly smooth. Just covered. And we're going to use a textured roller to try to get some of that texture feel back into it. So I've got that right here, and you can see it's a pretty coarse little guy, and we're just gonna roll over that, and you can see it added a lot of texture back into the roof, and it looks pretty good. I'm sorry, ceiling, Tom. But anyway, I'm going to continue along with that and get those all covered up and rolled in, and then I'll come back. We'll be just about ready to go ahead and give this thing a sanding and a paint job. Yeah, actually, I'm very pleased with it, especially a first pass. We'll probably do one more after that sets in just to clean everything up, but it added a nice texture back to the ceiling there, like the original, and so yeah, pretty pleased. Anyway, guys, that's about it for today. I'll get back with you tomorrow. We'll get this sanded down and painted. All right, you can see we've got the sheetrock work done here. All that was looking pretty good. I just sanded it in here. We have not put the trim on the door yet, but I'm going to do that after I put the new floor in. So our ceiling, the texture at all, realize you probably can't see it on camera, really came out agreeable to me. I'm very pleased with that. So anyway, let's get some paint on these walls and see if we can turn it back into a closet. Oh, and just future note, sorry I didn't bring you with me. I pulled up the old floor. You should never nail a laminate floor down. Anyway, let's get this thing painted. All right, guys. What a meteoric difference that made, huh? Our paint on the walls. Well, it looks good. The ceiling looks great. Where we did the textured roller there. Looks really, really nice. No one would know the difference. So, Walls are coming along. Just beautiful. And this is what it should have been like, guys. Holy cow. So yeah, very pleased with it. And now we're ready to go ahead and get our new floor in and the closet system.